So let's fast forward to 2021.
Okay.
And if the NBA and the WNBA are both said to be playing in a bubble again, what's your guys' thoughts on that? No fans type of thing, but obviously the safest thing. Are you guys down to be in a bubble? I mean,
it's probably gonna be the same operation. You just can't leave the bubble. It's gonna be super isolated. Get tested every day. I mean, I don't have to go through it now, but I heard stories about it, and a lot of my peers are telling me about what's going on down there. But I guess I gotta look forward to it. But I don't know. We'll see.
Man, okay. Swab my nose, make me drool in something. I'm in. Like
Hoopers want to hoop.
No matter
Hoopers want to hoop. That's for sure.
Weird, whatever.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to STEWIE'S WORLD. I'm Breanna Stewart, reporting live from the Wubble. I'm joined by two incredible guests today, Kevin Durant. Kevin, hi.
What up?
And Kelsey Plum.
It's good.
This is my Achilles gang episode. I really wanted to do this one. I reached out to KD and was like, I think we need to do this. Especially three people kind of have gone through the same injury. What's up with you guys? How's it going? How's quarantine? Kels, how's the beginning process of rehab going?
Yeah, it's going great. About 10 weeks out. So I got the boot off, walking. BFR is kicking my ass. But it's going good. I feel like super blessed, especially in quarantine, to be able to do PT and to be able to like lift and train still. So I'm doing good.
And KD, how are you feeling? How's
the
leg?
I'm getting better. I'm at the stage where I'm starting to play a little bit of pickup now, so I'm moving up and down the court a bit. I'm getting stronger. I'm getting stronger each and every day. You know that calf muscle is the last phase. So
it's the last thing that comes. It's the last thing. I saw you playing one-on-one with Drake. That music video was fire, by the way. So
thanks.
seems like you're getting it together. That's for sure. So give me the inside scoop. Did you do that video during quarantine?
We did that I want to say a week before it came out. I went up to Portland and he really had the whole campus. Nobody else was on there but him. He was
I saw that
all
was
types
crazy.
of shit. Yeah, it was crazy. But we went up there a week before and filmed it. It was cool.
I mean, he had like the whole employee store was empty. I didn't even know the employee store was open right now. I didn't know what was happening. He probably took everything. So Kelsey, you just said you're 10 weeks. I mean, me and Katie, we know exactly where you're at. You just got out of the boot. Past like the worst part. The worst part was like not being able to walk, all that. Mine is my right leg. Kelsey, yours is your right or left? And Katie, yours is your
my right.
So for us,
I got to
for
drive.
The two of us, we struggle a little more because we couldn't drive. So that was a giant pain in the ass. But I guess looking back in the beginning, like those first 2 months, what was like the worst part for you, Katie?
For me, I was full throttle right before it happened. Obviously in the finals, that's like the peak of, competition and, and then to know I can't even walk for the next, month and a half. And I think that was the toughest part, not being able to do the small normal things in life that I enjoy, from getting up and brush my teeth, whenever I wanted to. Now, when I was doing it, it was like a production. I had to get everything set up and ready. Taking a shower was stressful, so it made me appreciate the small things in life. But it was definitely tough the first couple of months.
And Kels? You just got out of it. You got to be happy. Your armpits got to be feeling better.
Oh,
man. Well, I had a nice little scooter that I would kind of zip around. That saved my life. But I learned that I have the smallest bladder ever, because normally I think I go to the bathroom and you just kind of scoot on over, and then now I'm gotta find the crutches. Now I gotta maneuver over here, there. Yeah. That was rough. I almost peed on myself a couple times.
Now I'm like remembering back, and it's like there's no like being graceful. When you can't step on your other leg, you're like slamming down on the couch, slamming down on the toilet, slamming down on the. I would like get ready on the counter like of the bathroom. I would get changed on that, so I didn't have to stand up because my other leg was sore. But obviously, Kevin and I, we ruptured our Achilles like within 2 months. We were very similar. He did his in the finals. I did mine overseas in the finals. And then Kelsey, you did yours in June. And it was just kind of like, we're all wondering why. And even still to this day, like I think about why did it happen? And I still like am kind of frustrated that I don't know why it happened. Because I feel like at this level, we do everything to like make sure our bodies are in the best place possible. But Kelsey, I'm sure you were thinking about why. And, when you think back to the day, I guess, walk us through what happened when you ruptured your Achilles, and then we'll hear KD's side of things as well.
Yeah, I think I look back and I get frustrated because it was game point. Like we were playing pickup, we're playing threes, and it was game 5, game point of game 5. And I was the one that had said, you guys, we can't end on a tie. We got to run it back. So that to me is like, sometimes I look back and I'm like, I should have just sat my ass down. Like, what am I doing? But it was right before they announced that the bubble was happening and I was in great shape. And I honestly, to this day, I still don't know. I still don't know why. And like, I mean, y'all could tell me why. I have no idea though.
I don't know why either.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, I was at that point too. I was playing the best basketball of my life, and I felt like I was just in a great place mentally and physically. And then when it happened, it was just like a bunch of emotions came through my mind at once. And the one thing that stood out to me over the like next few days after that, it was just like I put so much time and effort into the game, and maybe this right here is meant for me to slow down and relax. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause we go hard every single day as professional athletes. Our whole days, our whole years are centered around the game. So sometimes we may go too hard, and I felt like I did, from working out to playing games to not wanting to come out of games. I felt like all of that just kind of added up, and then it happened. So. But it's always a lesson out of everything. I feel like, and I feel is you reach that level of, as a professional, you start to understand what your body is saying. So it's good to gain that knowledge, but it was tough to go through that through the grueling process of trying to get back.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think I felt the same way as like when I look back to when I did it. So I did it going up into a jump shot, which is like the very abnormal way of kind of rupturing it. And, if I look back to the game, I was in the best place of my career, playing really high, whatever. In that game, I was tired. I could tell my body was tired. And, we like push through. It's like push through mentally, like your body will catch up. Well, my body did not catch up. My body knew that it was time. And I remember being on the ground, like, I just fucked myself up. Like, I remember thinking that. And then I was like, I hope when I stand up, like, my ankle's broken, I hope 2 months I'm out, 2 months can come back. And right away when I stood up, and I'm like, I don't know if you guys all had this feeling, but like I could only feel the bottom of my foot. Like that was it. And it was the weirdest thing I've ever felt.
It's like you was stepping on a ramp. It was like your foot was like slanted. It was weird. It was right when I did mine, I was hurt. I had strained my calf muscle. And I'm just thinking that, I didn't play through all types of stuff, like you said. And just that as an athlete, you just look to push through that small stuff, especially at the end of the season. So, and boom, then I made a routine move trying to get to the basket, pushing off my right, and then it ruptured. And then you just, it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you never felt it before, and you hear stories of like, it felt like somebody kicked you, or it just you just hear the pop. It was just tough to go through, but it was one of those things that, like, it was really eye opening at the same time.
So right now you're back and whatever, and I think for me, like how we were talking, we know that our body, we can't do everything that we want. And now like even coming back, I'm in the bubble, and it's like we're playing these games every other day, and knowing the point where it's like I can push through this, and the point where it's like it's dumb. It's
Yeah.
risking something if I continue to do that. And have you felt that, like even going back into working out and playing pickup and that stuff?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I felt like some days when I'm a little bit sore after working out, before I would just get back up and say, I'll try to run it off or play it off. But now I'm just a little bit more cautious, and I might change my workout a bit depending on how my body's feeling. Stuff I wasn't doing before, because I was just usually getting out of bed, getting a little stretch in, and getting right to it. And it's been like that for the last 20 years of my life. So
Right.
now to start thinking about, what I'm doing pre-workout, post-workout. It's taking more of a professional approach when it comes to your body now. So I got a question for you. So how do you feel playing, like you said, every other day? How does your body feel?
So, I mean, I think it's like a fine line. I think that, how you talked about we have to do more pre and post stuff, like that's real. And like that's a commitment that we signed up for, and we didn't ask to sign up for that. Like I get massaged and stretched, especially my Achilles before games and stuff like that, and then after. And it's just listening to my body. Like so far I felt great, and we've talked about it a little bit. Like I feel my leg feels amazing, but if for whatever reason, if my calf doesn't, then I'm out. Like that's it. Like I can't push it. And like understanding that. And I think when Kelsey hops back on, that's one thing I wanted to ask her, because like I had moments in rehab where it was like I was on the court one day and I did rehab and I did a lot, and then the next day I was like swollen and sore, and I wanted to go on the court again, and they were like, if you do this, you'll be back 5 more days behind.
Yeah, that's the tough part, because you can easily irritate, this injury and set yourself back when you're trying to do more. So you really got to be patient, and that's tough, because like ankle injuries. I'm used to having ankle injuries. You twist your ankle, like I feel like I can run that off. You know what I'm saying? But this was a totally different monster.
You're talking about pushing yourself, and like you'll go hard in rehab one day and whatever, and then the next day you'll be swollen. I feel that, and it's frustrating, because it's like I did everything I was supposed to do. Like I'm eating right, I'm sleeping, I'm taking naps during the day, for God's sakes. Like shouldn't be like this, man. But it's probably just about patience, because I haven't had any before this, and so now you're forced to have it. And I think Stu, you said something to me that kind of stuck with me, and it's just like, through all this, you don't know why this happened, but you're going to be better for it. And so I really have taken that to heart, because, I mean, I really do believe that. I don't know why, but I do feel like I'm a better, all around, more centered person.
Yeah, and I feel like even coming back, like being at the point I am, like we talk about, we were at our highest highs. But having that time, having those 9-10 months, like my body is in better shape than I've ever been in my life. And, coming back to the game and having that all around approach, and it seems like everything has just bumped up to be a little bit better. So, KD, like you said, like for some reason this happened, and maybe it was for us to slow down and focus on some other things, but, it's kind of it's what you make out of it. It's the way you kind of handle it. And listen, don't get me wrong, I had some bad days, like some bad days where I was like, I can't do it. I can't.
Tough ones, for sure.
Kevin, I was talking to Kelsey the other day, because we have the same trainer. And like I'm seeing these videos of her doing these things, and she's like 10 weeks. And I'm like, I know my 10 weeks was not this. And I was like, listen, you need to chill out. Like you need to be a little more patient. Like don't rush things, because it's really like, it's not a race. You're hurrying back up for what we don't know what the world of basketball is going to be in 6 months. And it was kind of like, I mean, for me, like through my process, it was like, don't stretch it. Don't stretch it in the beginning, because if you stretch it, you can't get that power and that strength back. And was that the same message that you were working with?
Yeah, for sure. It was the dorsiflexion I guess I had to wear heel raised in my shoe for a while, you know, so just in fear of stretching it because they wanted to make it tight, but it's like hard to make it tight again if it's already stretched out. So they wanted to keep it tight. So, you know, my Achilles been feeling, you know, since we did that, like I haven't had any soreness from playing or making sharp movements, and you know, so I've been. I guess it was the right way to go.
So Kelsey, you better listen to us. I'm like,
No,
we
I'm
got the same doctor, so
yeah.
Kels, like what are you doing like at this point? Like what, you know, every week we kind of were able to like get a little bit further, you know, like get a nugget towards where we wanted to go. At what point are you right now? Like what are you able to do? Tell us a little bit.
Yeah, I've been working on the reformer. And you know, I've never been so excited to do you know, like the bands around your knees and like the stupid warm-ups you've been doing. Like I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
But I'm doing that. I do a lot of like, you know, Stewie and I work with the same trainer, but like Pilates and stuff like that. And most of the time I've been doing pool workouts. So like deep water pool workouts, swimming pool workouts. That's been really good for me, I think, just because I feel like kind of normal in the water. So for me, that's been really productive.
And have you touched a basketball?
Yeah, I was sitting in a chair dribbling.
Like for me, I didn't because I was
Really?
like, they were like, do you want to shoot in a chair? And I was like, no.
Me
like
too.
I don't. I was mad, and I was like, this is not what I want to be doing.
Yeah, me too.
So I really didn't shoot until they were like, you can shoot and not jump. And then I was like, okay, now I'll do it. But the chair thing, I was like, nope, not about it.
Yeah, I ain't want that either. Only in the weight room so I can get up out of there. I ain't want to go shoot no extra shots, nothing, until I can go at least on my tippy toes to shoot.
Which for me was a while.
There's no sign.
This is a little bit of our pregame work. This is Dustin. Gotta get everything working. The scars. You know, game time stuff. I think I have the biggest scar. And I think, Kels, mine is bigger than yours. Mine is like this big. Maybe this is exaggerating, but it's this
Why
big.
is it so big?
Yeah, that's pretty big. Like that's too big, probably.
But it's around that. But for me, like mine, Dr. Elichosh, shout out to Dr. Elichosh because he got my shit together. He was like, I just blasted it. Like I just like completely like blasted it. And like they had to pull it down, but they had to go up farther. So with the Achilles, right, you have to go up into the calf, get it, pull it down, screw it in. But I guess mine was like farther than they thought. So they had to go like make the scar a little bigger. And then also I had like the Haglund's deformity on the back of my heel. So they shaved that. So like I have a big one, which I'm like, I guess it's one thing to brag about. But how has your guys' scars healed? Like, do you even notice it? Do you have feeling in your on the scar? And I guess for Kelsey, like, do you like to shave over it? Because mine is like freaking me out.
Yeah. You know, Vegas is like 115. So for the first couple of weeks, I didn't touch the entire ankle. Which I think that my PT guy was like, what's wrong with you? But like, that's not the point. My scar is pretty small because I was fortunate enough, I tore it right in the middle. So he basically just pulled it a little bit and like connected it. But yeah, I think that my scar is still pretty. I mean, we're at 10 weeks, so
yeah, mine's not too small. A little bit smaller than yours, Stewie. It healed up. It felt like it healed up pretty fast. I don't have a huge scar. You can't really notice it if my socks off. But once I seen the pictures after surgery, it was just like I can't believe my body does this. You know what I'm saying? Like seeing your Achilles rupture, you know, and seeing them sew it back up, like it was crazy to see your body do stuff like that, and then to heal up. It shows how powerful we are as human beings. So it's been crazy getting to know your body on a different level throughout this whole thing.
Oh, absolutely. Like my leg, when it atrophied, I don't know why one day I woke up and I was like, whoa, my leg is just so skinny. Like it was like disgusting. And I was like, oh my God, like, I don't know what's happening right now.
Was your calf? It was your calf like
it was
jiggling?
my quad. It was, my calf was jiggling. Like everything was like, it was gross. I was like, this is disgusting.
It took me a while for that calf. I still don't think my calf is gonna get back to size, but it's coming in slow.
Yeah, my calf is still like a little bit smaller than the other, and like, we've talked about it, Kevin. Like, it's like when you're working on your one side, it's like it's really working. Like my right leg is like really, really working. And Kelsey, you're gonna see like that thing is working way harder. The muscle pops like more than the other side.
The legs start burning.
The calf raises, the calf holds. I'm like, oh my God! I didn't think I was gonna make it. Especially in some of those treatment days.
You scaring her, man. You scaring her right now.
She needs to be a little scared. I'm just saying, because I want her to like be patient.
She hit me last week and was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What is she?" I'm like, "No, I'm doing good. I'm good." She's like, "No, like you need to sit your ass down. You stop it."
I know,
right? So I guess like looking back on for this is more for KD and I and Kelsey, what you think is to come, but. Like for me, like the approach that I have going into basketball is, I have a greater appreciation for basketball. I don't think I ever took basketball for granted, but the fact like you were talking about earlier, it went away like this. And like we couldn't walk, couldn't go to the shower, couldn't do anything easily. And, now that I'm back, like I like to tell my teammates, like I have a new Achilles, because that's what I feel like. I have a new Achilles and have that strength that, I didn't know if I was going to get back. Yeah. But do you think like you look at the game differently now coming back from an injury like this?
Yeah, for sure. I just appreciate being in the gym. I appreciate the workouts and the one-on-one sessions and just being in there with other guys, different players. I miss, just the whole routine, So doing it every single day, I have a newfound evolved level of joy for it. I feel like I'm growing every day. I'm having that kid-like joy when I step on the court. So that's all I really wanted to continue to have. I didn't want to lose the love for the game because of an injury, and I felt like, at this point now, I'm just really enjoying waking up and getting to the gym every day.
I guess, Kelsey, if you can kind of fast forward, but you've only been through 10 weeks of it so far, but you're through the worst of it. We can both tell you that you're through the worst of it. Mm-hmm. Just the appreciation for being able to do what you weren't able to do for those past 10 weeks.
Man, like you said, it is the little things, like Kev said, having that joy. I think, too, for me personally, this has been really good to take a step back from basketball. I think I've been going as hard as I can, pedal to the metal, since I picked the ball up. And so, like, for me to be able to step back and enjoy time with my family. And, there's a lot going on right now in terms of, like, the pandemic, in terms of, Black Lives Matter. There's so many things. Like personally in my family, there's things happening, and so I think for me to have perspective on like, all right, 2020, I popped my Achilles, but like if that's the worst thing that happens to me, like life is pretty good. So I think it's allowed me to gain a perspective that I didn't have before.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
I agree.
So for example, we lost yesterday. We lost to Indiana, where it was like they played better than us, even though we probably have the better team on paper. They played better than us, and like obviously, like I'm, as you guys are, you're your own worst critic. What could I have done better? This, that, the other thing. But at the same time, like another side of me is like, I'm happy that I was able to be on the court. I'm happy that I was able to play, and like I want to win them all, but sometimes we're not going to win them all. But appreciating the fact that I was able to be here. You know, I'm able to function. I'm able to run up and down. I'm able to shoot even if I don't make it. And then that's also the competitiveness in us that we want to obviously make everything that we do. So now, like, KD, yours is a little different. You were watching from the sidelines, right? With the Warriors. I mean, you weren't there during all that at the end, but then you switched teams. Going to Brooklyn, how was it to like be on the sidelines?
It was tough. You know, I got injured before in 2015, and I was out for like half the season, and I would always come to the game in suits. So I kind of got used to that, and I was out, 20 games here and there throughout the last few years. So I kind of got used to like being on the sideline, but knowing that I wasn't gonna come back the whole season, it was just like I had to really get my mind prepared for that, because looking at a game from a different lens now. I was out from the outside, and but it was tough to sit there and watch because I wanted to go out there and affect the game, and it's hard to do that from the bench.
And you definitely rock the Cortezes all the time.
All the time. Same suit jacket every game.
Kels, you're not in the wobble, but the same. You're kind of viewing it from afar. And what's the emotions from it? And yeah, give me the deets.
Yeah, I try to. For me, I'm like, man, I can't be there to support them. So I'm gonna support them from afar, and I'm just gonna be positive energy, good vibes. I like send them pregame texts. Sometimes I'm try to be funny. Sometimes I try to be like more serious. But for me, I just think that trying to be a great teammate and showing them that like, you guys, I'm still in it. Like I still care. I still like, try to still continue to maintain and build relationships with your teammates and stuff. And it's even been really cool to watch, like you, Stewie, watch you play and how much you've completely just dominated this last season. It's encouraging because it's like, all right, literally she just did what I just did, and look what can happen. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really grateful for you and the way that you've been able to reach out to me too. So it's been cool. I don't get to wear Cortezes, like no one sees me out, but like it's still cool. It's still cool.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was tough to be on the sidelines. I mean, I did majority of my rehab in LA, and obviously the team was holding it down in Seattle. But the beginning was frustrating. I came back, and the first game was ring ceremony night. That was the first game back, and I wasn't dressed. I was dressed in normal clothes. I had to walk in a boot, and I was like begging my PT people, like, please don't let me have to use crutches. Like, please let me at least just walk. But it was hard, it was hard. And as you guys have a good circle around you, it was frustrating. It was frustrating because, we want to make an impact on a game and we know that we can, but we physically could not do it. But the same thing, being there for my teammates, showing up to games. And now you guys will be back with your teammates at some point soon. And it's just great to be back. It's great to be around that team vibe, like you saying, KD, in the gym, like working out and just playing basketball and like being able to really be a part of a team like that, because the injury takes that away from you, and it's tough. Kels, you said something about me coming back, and I wanted to give a quick shout out to Karima Christmas Kelly. She actually ruptured her Achilles while she was in the wobble. And she's going through it right now. She's going through the worst of it. So Karima, we're here with you. Definitely wishing you the best.
Yep.
And wanted to get that out there for sure. Switching gears a little bit, what do you guys think of the wobble, the NBA bubble? I mean, I guess the NBA can just be the bubble. What do you guys think of the wobble and the bubble? And do you think it's like harder or easier for the players? Kels, you can go first.
All right, go ahead, Kels.
Sorry.
No, you're good, Kev. I think, man, I think for me watching, I worry about like mentally how people are doing. Because I think especially like we've all had those moments where we want to get away. We want to like, man, go hang out with our friends or our family, or go to our favorite restaurant, or just get away, and you can't. And so I wonder at times, I know some of my teammates have expressed it of like, man, I'm dying, like in terms of just feeling like doing the same thing. We talked about it, Stu. Like you said, you feel like you're doing it over and over and over again. So I don't know, Kev, I don't know how you think about it though.
So yeah, I worried about the mental, but the games have been competitive. You don't really see a different advantage. You're used to seeing home court in the NBA and seeing how much that affects teams in the playoffs. But right now, it feels like an even playing field, and it looks like an AAU tournament, to be honest, on both sides. So it's been good for just like a hoops junkie like myself. It feels like some AAU stuff. So, but I hope the players are mentally in a good place.
Yeah, I mean, reporting from the bubble, I think that, it is like Groundhog's Day. Every day is like the same. We do the same thing. We do the testing. We do this. We got the game. We got practice. We got something. And I think, like I said, I think I'm in a different perspective. I'm happy to be able to be playing, especially with everything coming back from injury. But it's tough. It's basketball 24/7. Everywhere you look, it's basketball. It's basketball playing. It's basketball on TV. It's like you have an off day, but it's like people are like, well, maybe you should do recovery, this type of thing. Like there's no like, oh, you can go to the store, you can go shopping, you can go like just be by yourself. So I think it's tough in that perspective, but I also think like coming here, I didn't know if this would like really happen. I didn't know if this was going to work as far as like our bubble staying safe, and like getting here, it's like, wow, a lot really goes into making this happen. And I mean, I understand why our games especially are like packed into a certain number of days because we can't be in this bubble forever. But I guess it's a grind, fortunate to be able to be working and to quote unquote have a job right now, especially with everything going on in our country. But you gotta find your happy moments, and maybe that's just going to the pool, because in Florida it's very, very, very hot and humid, and I miss the West Coast as far as the no humidity type of thing. This is our day and pre-game ritual. Me and AC go in the cold tub, and Pip sits right there. It's cold in here. Ready? Here we go.
So how's it gonna work with overseas right after this?
So I mean, some of my friends that I have gone overseas. People are going overseas, and I'm not sure what else is happening after that. For me, the only thing that's confusing is like EuroLeague, because how are different countries going to play, and how are people going to travel between different countries?
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're going to try and do a bubble or whatever the case may be, but I think people will play in their domestic leagues. Like I think I'll still go to Russia and we'll play Russian league. And from that, we're going to see what happens.
Man, it's crazy.
Basketball is still going on. That's for sure.
For sure.
So this is not a rumor that I have, but it's kind of a rumor. It's more like my opinion and what's your guys' opinion about it. So let's fast forward to 2021. And if the NBA and the WNBA are both said to be playing in a bubble again, what's your guys' thoughts on that? No fans type of thing, but obviously the safest thing. Are you guys down to be in a bubble?
we're not gonna have a choice, but so we're gonna have to just deal with it. But I think they'll add a couple more, especially if we're gonna have to be there for 6 to 7 months. I think they'll add like one on the West Coast and one in the Midwest, maybe, and probably keep the one in Orlando and see how that works. But it's probably gonna be the same operation. You just can't leave the bubble. You're just gonna be super isolated, get tested every day. I mean, I don't have to go through it now, but I heard stories about it, and a lot of my peers are telling me about what's going on down there. But I guess I got to look forward to it. But I don't know. We'll see.
Man,
Okay.
swab my nose, make me drool in something. I'm in. Like
Hoopers want to hoop.
No matter what.
Hoopers
You know what
want
I'm
to
saying?
hoop. That's for sure.
Weird, whatever.
I'm so interested. Like I'm so interested. I guess for the NBA guys, it's gonna be you first of what's really coming next, because it's like you see from other sports, like some have fans, some don't. College is like postponing majority of their stuff, and like postponing is like eventually leading to canceling, I think. And it's just like what's gonna happen in the world of sports? We don't know. It's crazy. So this is like one of my last questions. Kelsey, I wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of ask the two of us questions, because we're in a different place as far as ahead of rehab. But let me get this question out first. And just what's next? What's next for you? What's the next few months looking like for you? And then I'll go to Kevin.
Yeah, single leg calf raise.
I told you to do the seated calf raise. I told you.
No.
Do
I've
that.
been doing it.
Please
I've been
do
doing
it.
But that's what I have my mindset on. That's what I need to get to. That's like the big benchmark.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just working towards that. Seated calf raises, weighted seated calf raises. I'm actually doing double leg calf raises standing. So we're getting there. So I think for me, like, having things to work towards gets me excited. So I know that's like a very simplistic answer. I wish I had more for you, but that's what occupies my mind.
Slow and steady.
That's it.
Yep.
And
me,
for you,
what's next? I've been playing 3-on-3s for like 3 months, 4 times a week. Next phase is to play some more 5-on-5. I was doing it before the pandemic, but it's hard to get 10 guys on the court now during COVID. So I think that's the next step, is to get some good runs in the next couple of months, couple weeks.
and then just be ready for whatever happens next.
And then whenever they call me, I gotta be ready.
Kels, do you have anything that you wanted to ask the two of us, as far as anything you want to know?
Yeah, I think for me, I would say to both of you guys, looking back on your process, it's a 2-part question. What would the biggest advice, like hindsight's 2020, what would you tell yourself? And then maybe what's one of your things that like you wish you would have done more or less, like any regrets or anything like that?
I mean, I think looking back, so like for me, I've had like a lot of like nostalgic moments getting to this point. And I know like I made my debut in January, but like I missed the whole WNBA season, and like getting back to this point, and I didn't think that this would be my debut back in the WNBA with no fans. That's not what I thought. But at the same time, the way that I'm able to get on the court, the way that I'm really able to still compete at a high level, makes me proud, because I think, sometimes we don't realize how hard those moments that we went through were. And, it takes a lot of mental toughness and that type of stuff to get through it. And I think for the three of us, like, we're making a hard thing look easy. Rupturing your Achilles, coming back and playing a sport at the highest level possible is not easy. Especially like when we continue, we're going to have at least, I mean, I don't know how much longer you're going to play, KD, but like at least 7, 8, 9, 10 seasons in the league, we're still going to be playing. So I'm proud of that. And I think, if I could think about one thing, is realize all the hard things that we did. And then things to change. I wouldn't have put like a ton of pressure on myself. I know that there was like a benchmark that I was trying to hit. Like I wanted January 27th. I wanted that to be my first game back. And like I made it. I made it to that day. But if I didn't, I think I would have been kind of like messed up mentally. And and just really listening to my body. I learned that the hard way. I like went from two crutches to one crutch really quickly, and my leg got swollen. And it was like things like that where I realized like, oh, my body is not playing around. Like if I do something that it doesn't like, then I'm not going to be able to do things for a week. Like I had to like chill out for a week. So just continuing to be patient and realizing that I'm never going to know why I ruptured my Achilles. That's my advice.
Okay.
Yeah. That's some good advice. I would definitely say the same. Just not being as hard on myself, as I was early on. Like she said, I wanted to hit so many benchmarks early. I felt like my body could respond a little bit, faster than I thought. I just had so many thoughts in my head about getting back faster. And sometimes when things went a little slow, I was hard on myself. So, just being more patient and understanding what this injury is about. And sometimes that was tough on my PT, and sometimes that was tough on my family. I didn't want to talk to people, and I isolated myself from a lot of people. But I would probably tell myself not to be as hard on yourself and just understand that patience is key.
And everything happens for a reason, and sometimes we don't know the reason.
For sure.
That's a wrap for Stewie's World. Thank you to my guests, Kevin and Kelsey. Appreciate you guys. For the fans out there, make sure to subscribe to the Uninterrupted YouTube channel for more episodes. We'll be checking in throughout the WNBA season, so stay tuned for more conversations from inside the wobble. For audio podcast listeners, subscribe to Stewie's World feed wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Breanna Stewart, and stay tuned for more Inside the Wobble for Stewie's World. Get involved. Contact Attorney General Daniel Cameron and demand justice for Breonna Taylor. This message is brought to you by Breanna Stewart, Uninterrupted, and a generation on the right side of history.